No, you didn't. No, wait a minute. That was my friend. Ow, ow, ow.
Ow.
Wait, don't do that.
Ow.
What?
We're live.
Good.
We're live, dude.
Good. Did you see anything?
No. We definitely didn't see you playing with your toys again.
Good. You know, it's just one of those ideas that maybe just went off better in my head. I can't be Rick Moranis. I don't know what to tell you. It's Tuesday at 6 o'clock. You know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. We are on the march to WrestleMania. We just got off the fast lane on the exit to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. I'm excited. More matches were announced last night. We have a whole week of action that we're going to talk about this week. And everything going forward into WrestleMania week. So we're going to have about 10 straight days, if not more, of straight-up wrestling. I'm excited. I know Bob Costas was here. He's got a phrase for all of us. On the bottom part of our screen, returning right now, as always, each and every week, we have the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today?
So far, so good. Enjoying it. Feeling the power.
Yeah, I was saying in pre-production, John Smith, you guys, I mean, I had to do it too. I got a little blackout in here. With the time change, and it's I think today's the first day of spring, or maybe a couple days ago, somewhere in this area. The sun's shining through in Jersey.
Yeah, I had all my windows open today. It's great. I guess it's time to take down my Christmas tree, huh?
Yeah, maybe it's not that time. I mean, there's a way. Maybe you can like hang like Easter eggs on it or something. You can make this work for a couple more weeks, so we're good. On today's episode of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, Finn Balor and Karrion Kross, they challenged for the NXT Tag Team Championships last week. Tommy Dreamer is in control of Impact's upcoming Impact Plus special Hardcore Justice. And wow, it's okay. We're definitely gonna get into that. Randy Orton tried to set the Fiend on fire again last night on Raw. Gary Mehaffy is back with us to discuss the first ever mixed tag. That was not right at all. You were here to discuss what was last week? It was Devlin and Trent Seven. I'm sorry, I never changed that from last week's notes. The Cruiserweight Championship match between Jordan Devlin and Trent Seven, who just made weights. About a half a pound, he made it under. Kudos to the hard work of Trent Seven. See, kids, hard work pays off. Ryan Joy is back with us this week. He's here to discuss the finale of the New Japan Cup, plus a little bit about the Ring of Honor 19th anniversary special this Friday. I'm going to reveal number 4. We are down to 4 on my top 30 favorite WrestleMania matches, leading us into WrestleMania 37. I can't believe we started this. I guess, 26, 28 weeks ago, like trying to time it perfectly. And it's just like, I remember going through number 26, 25. I can't believe we're down to 4 already. This just means we're getting that much closer to the Showcase of the Immortals. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows. You're going to see the graphics are back. Ryan is back from vacation. You're going to see the actual professionally done graphics from minutes to bell time, all the statistics from minutes to bell time. And, of course, all of these picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And, guys, she'll like it, too. We are going to main event the show today with the absolutely incredible match put on by Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker from AEW and Dynamite last week. One for the ages, one that will be talked about for a long time. I'm going to be talking about it for a long time. But we're going to curtain jerk. Life in the fast lane. We had a pay-per-view, WWE pay-per-view this past Sunday. Fun show. About 7 matches, 8 if you count the pre-show, if I do remember correctly. Very good show. Things are starting to be clearing up for WrestleMania, with the exception, I think, of the Universal Championship. And we're going to get to that first, John Smith. Roman Reigns did defend the Universal Championship. I think we were all in agreement on that one, but
yeah, the way it happened, the way it went down, we had two predictions and they both happened. It was either this or that, but they both happened. Jay happened and Edge getting involved happened. The match itself, it went pretty well. Daniel Bryan can go with anyone, and whatever you feel about Roman Reigns aside, if once Daniel Bryan's in the ring with a guy, it doesn't matter who's in there. Edge just looked like he had nothing to do. He looked like out of place most of the match. He was just standing there. He didn't even look like he was cheering anybody or feeling any of the match. He just stood there. It was weird. Mm-hmm. But by the end of it, he made his presence felt, and he hit them both with the steel chair. It looks like somewhat of a heel turn in a way for Edge.
Yeah, he kind of snapped. He wasn't happy with, I guess, hitting Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan got him with the chair first in the shoulder. I can't remember if it was intentional or not. I'm sure it wasn't. That's just not really Daniel Bryan. I guess he got the referee first unintentionally with the jumping knee kick. But yeah, so now WrestleMania it's still Roman and Edge, but John Smith, does Daniel have a gripe here? Because it was the chair shot from Edge that got him down for the 3 count. It wasn't anything Roman did. It was the chair shot from the special enforcer, from the Muhammad Ali and or Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he certainly does have a case to get himself into that main event. And, I think that's what it's going to end up being, where it's like Edge is kind of the tweener, and then you got heel Roman and babyface Daniel Bryan. And who knows, maybe we see Daniel Bryan come out of nowhere and win this thing. It's like 2 months ago, I never would have said that Daniel Bryan was going to win the world title at WrestleMania,
John DeConnie, you just reminded me of a point that I forgot to bring up. Can you please mention this again?
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan's best argument to get into this match is that while there was no referee, Mr. Roman Reigns tapped out.
Yeah, he was tapping with the gauntlet right there. He's got the Thanos gauntlet going right there. But Kenny Omega was supposed to be Thanos. But yeah, so I guess to be continued on Friday, the fallout here. No Jimmy Uso. That was the one half prediction you could kind of call. Heyman kind of alluded to it. But Jimmy didn't show up. But yeah, so Daniel's got a case here. So let's see. And like I said, if he gets added to that, this is not a cut and dry match anymore. Roman is he susceptible? Ooh, easy for me to say, to lose the championship. So the main event of night 2, as they announced last night, just got a lot more interesting. John DeConnie, sticking with you. A match, I think it was a 50-50 split. We didn't really have any idea what was going on. We kind of knew Randy wasn't getting a win here, but it was 50-50 between Alexa Bliss winning and a no contest. Once that bell rang, I got excited, and once the referee jumped out of the ring, I was even more excited. But
yeah. So we had the intergender match between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. Started out with Randy choking on that black car or whatever it is before Alexa's music even hits. He rolls out of the ring, gets himself a towel to wipe himself off. He's pissed now. He doesn't like what's going on. Alexa makes her way down. She started wasting no time on her part. She starts out by throwing a fireball at him. Backs him up a little bit. Then
she came out hot in that match. That was
She certainly did. Then Randy charged at her in the corner, missed, shoulder to the post, rolls outside just to get them both outside so they could have a little more fun there. And he kind of chased her around the ring where she, I guess through her supernatural powers, caused a piece of the lighting rig to fall, maybe a foot in front of Randy, kind of in between the two of them as Randy was kind of chasing her around the ring. At one point Randy says, "Are you trying to kill me?"
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yes, man.
She lures him back into the ring. She throws another fireball. He's coming out of the corner. She throws another fireball that packs him up. Now he's taking his time. He's sitting there in the corner. Ann comes through the mat, pulls out his leg. Randy gets free of that, takes a step back. Thank God, because basically Kane's pyro goes off, shoots through the ring. Now there's smoke, and coming out of the hole is the still smoldering from I don't even remember when at this point. Was that Royal Rumble?
TLC, December.
TLC in December, even better. So the melted faced Fiend, still smoldering, comes out through the bottom of the ring, and Randy's in stunned. He's not even moving for a second. Lexi kind of pushes him right into the Fiend. We get a Sister Abigail, and then we get, I'm sure from Randy's point of view, the greatest pin cover he's ever had. 1, 2, 3. Alexa gets the victory.
Yeah, and Alexa shot the fireballs. That's awesome. Shout out to Randy Orton. He knows how to block fireballs now. I guess fool him twice. Shame on him. He took the first one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he knows how to block fireballs now. So good job, Randy. So that was continued last night on Raw. John the Connie. We're gonna circle back to once we get to the Raw conversation. John Smith. As we just discussed earlier, Daniel Bryan now has a gripe to enter the Universal Championship match. Lashley and McIntyre was set, and this was a big match for Sheamus. And I know a lot of guys picked Sheamus thinking that he could do the same thing. If he gets a win here, now he has a gripe. And holy crap, did they kick the hell out of each other? I mean, that was, McIntyre had the Mel Gibson paint on. Can I say his name on there? Can you say his name still? No. Okay.
Braveheart. Just say Braveheart.
Was the Braveheart William Wallace? Yeah, it's. But John, this was tough match, and these two. I know Gary was smiling the entire time. He had to have been.
Yeah, when you look up hardcore / no holds barred match in the dictionary, this is what you should be seeing, because nothing is more hard hitting than Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre lately. They kept stepping it up, man. Like suplexes onto the outside. Drew threw Sheamus through a board of fans, the TV board of all the fans with the
people
screen.
paid good money for those tickets. That was heart wrenching for me. I felt bad for those kids.
Yeah, that's what your wife said the other day too. Actually, no, I was actually watching the show with Al and his wife. That wasn't like that's what your wife said.
I was there. Yeah.
Well, I know. I was saying that for the audience, not for you. That's what your wife said the other day.
Yeah, that's what
jerk off. Anyway, Drew threw a piece of the commentary table into the middle of the ring. Future Shock DDT onto that. Followed up with the Claymore, and Sheamus has no gripe to get himself involved in that main event now. And now I just wonder what the hell are they going to do with him at WrestleMania? They have it looks like they have him going up against Riddle after watching Raw, but
yeah,
I don't know if I like that so much, because I feel like they're going to feed him to Riddle and have Riddle win that match.
Okay, well that's to be determined. Sheamus got the first shot fired in. We'll get to that. We did, like I said, speaking of Riddle, we did have 2 championship matches. Riddle and Ali got bumped to the pre-show, which is fine. Stacked card. That match did not disappoint at all. I really enjoyed Riddle and Ali. Riddle got the win with a leaping bro Derek off the middle turnbuckle. She needs to show up at Mania. So Riddle retains the MVP's United States Championship. Ali, I guess, was now berating Retribution for not getting involved. Ali is just impossible right now. Mia Yim took a walk. Slapjack, presented by Popeye's Chicken Sandwich, he took a walk. And now I'm going to call them by their names now, because now there's this T-Bar and Mace actually got enough of it. They double chokeslammed Ali. They were done. None of them appeared on Raw last night, but it just seems like Retribution, at least from the 4 of them with Ali, is done. So maybe like the 4 of them, or even just the 3 of them, maybe just put Mia Yim, take the mask off her, put her in the women's division, let her be happy. But let Slapjack, Mace, and T-Bar kind of, they can stay together. I don't have a problem with that at all. And then, I guess that feud is going to be going with Ali. So, title defense by Riddle. He's moving on to WrestleMania. He's going to walk the aisle as champion. And so is Big E. Big E retained the Intercontinental Championship. Kind of an odd pinning combination, but I liked it. Watching it back the second time, they rolled around in a couple small packages. Referee had to restart the count. The second time, E bridged out of it. Great technical wrestling great mat wrestling or mat countering by Big E. And he got the win, which did not make Apollo Crews happy, and he proceeded to beat the crap out of him post-match. So with a convincing win coupled with a post-match attack, we're kind of looking at this is going to be headed to Raymond James Stadium as well. John DeConnie, the opening contest for the Women's Tag Team Championship, I was completely wrong. So, screw mates.
You were not the only one. I was right there with you. As I said the first time they did it, as I said this time when they did it, what is the point of putting the WWE, the SmackDown Women's Champion and her number one contender on their way to WrestleMania in a tag team against the tag team champions if they're not going to win? And WWE doesn't care what we think.
No.
But what happened was, now they almost had it here. Bianca hit a 450 splash on Shayna and very well could have gotten a 3 count, but Reggie distracted the ref. This led to a little mess in the ring there, and Nia eventually would take Bianca, toss her into Sasha, breaking up the bank statement that Sasha had on Shayna. And while Sasha and Bianca then took a moment to bitch and moan at each other, Shayna rolled Sasha up for the win, and then they retained. Sasha and Bianca continued to jaw with each other afterwards, and Sasha even paintbrushed the rookie Bianca on her way out of the ring. So I guess it served the purpose to turn up the heat in their feud leading into WrestleMania. But you could have done that on SmackDown in a 60-second segment anyway.
Yeah, so it was a roll up pin by Shayna Baszler. There goes Fastlane ripping off Raw again. Well, they are Raw superstars, so it makes sense that they get their wins that way. So yeah, we had all of our theories. I had this whole concoction piled up for Natty and Tamina to get them to walk the aisles at Mania, with Shayna and Nia, competing for the Raw Women's Championship. None of that came to pass. We still don't have an answer right now what they're going to do with the women's tag team titles. And like I said, I think Natty and Tamina are going to be the front runners to be in that match. If it's just a 2-on-2, you could definitely throw multiple teams in there. Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. God damn, man. I was excited for this, and I was not disappointed. I knew Rollins was going to win. I don't think anybody really – I think maybe a few people in the pool, maybe like 5 or 10% had Shinsuke. With maybe some kind of Cesaro interference is what I'm thinking. But this was to build up Rollins, and I get that. But goddamn, I saw this match was announced, and I got really excited for it. I was not disappointed. Those two completely shined. Rollins got the pin with the curb stomp. Great job. Then there was an Old Spice commercial that resulted in 2 24/7 championship title changes. You don't see that every day. That was fun. I don't even know the guy who was. He was the spokesman, I guess. I had no idea who this guy was. He pinned R-Truth. Well, Kira Cesaro was looking for him.
He's Joseph Average.
Who was that?
Joseph Average.
Joseph. Oh, it was Joseph Average. I didn't catch the name. But yeah, Truth ended up rolling him up for the win back. And then the Black Panther lives. I guess he was the shirt. I thought it was the scene from Ron Burgundy. But I guess that was Sex Panther, so I guess I was just way off on that one, that cologne. Was that the cologne Paul Rudd was using, right? And then Elias subbed in for Shane. Shane tweaked his knee, training for the fight. He had Elias sub in. That was the first of back-to-back nights. We were reliving the Symphony of Destruction match. There was no cellos or pianos involved at this time. Strowman got the win with a power slam. He will do it again the following night, last night on Raw. So that will wrap up Life in the Fast Lane. Let's see where we landed. These are our WWE standings. John DeConnie has a 3-point lead on Ryan. They're coming down. This is a 2-man race at the moment. As you will see later on the show, WrestleMania is a lot of points. Everybody is still alive. Even poor poor little old me and poor Gary that are sitting down in the bottom. Actually, I'm tied with Tyler. He's got a lot more wins than I do. So he gets the tiebreaker on that one for WWE. And then the overall standings, I gained another 3 points on John DeConnie. But like I said, this is just the setup. WrestleMania week has a lot of points going into it. You know what? I'll just do it now. This is what's been announced so far, and these are the points for what's possible on ProWrestlingPick'em.com just on WrestleMania week.
Good Lord.
8 matches have been booked for WrestleMania 37. There's already 205 points available just on that show. NXT Stand and Deliver is at 25 right now with the 3 matches, which is including an interpromotional match between Escobar and Devlin that we will get into. NXT UK throwing their name in the hat here. They're throwing on a special on Thursday called Prelude. We're going to get into that one, Gary. And then look at the bottom right there, John DeConnie. Look at the balls on Impact throwing a pay-per-view to go up against WrestleMania. The balls on Impact.
They ain't afraid of no stinking mania.
Unbelievable. So that was maybe about a half an hour before the show went on now. They are doing the show at 3 o'clock. So the balls a little bit, but still, just to throw that on the same thing, to be mentioned in the same sentence. Look at that. It's Tommy Dreamer, right? So we'll get into that. Tommy Dreamer is running the show on that one. So we'll get into him. So lots of points on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. These standings are going to be completely shuffled by the time we air on April, I believe, 13th is the following Tuesday. So switching gears last night to Raw, the Hurt Business and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre were all over the place, John Smith. The show started with Sheamus still reeling from the fight with Drew McIntyre. Like the scars didn't even have a chance to heal on his back. And now he's got to go off of Lashley, who had the night off.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very fair now, does it? But I mean, between the beating he took the night before and the rest of the Hurt Business getting involved, the deck was really stacked against Sheamus in this one, and he still put on a really good showing. Post match, Bobby Lashley got the victory with the Hurt Lock, but afterwards he was not happy with Cedric and Shelton for getting involved because it makes him look weak. And also they were beating down Sheamus at the end of the match, and McIntyre did a run-in to save Sheamus the night after he beat the crap out of him, which was kind of weird. But I like that dynamic. Yeah, I can beat up my best friend, but you can't.
Yeah, well, that's the United Kingdom philosophy. If the guy puts up a good fight, you're gonna get his back on the next one. I think that's the rule. We'll ask Gary if that's on like the pub rules when you walk into a pub. But yeah, and then Drew McIntyre, I guess MVP gave it to Cedric and Shelton, and he told them to make it right, and so they challenged McIntyre to a 2-on-1, and then just keep going here, John.
Yeah, so later on in the show, it was actually for the right to ban them from ringside at WrestleMania, if I'm correct, right?
Yep.
So Drew gets the 2 of them, and he gets the Claymore after hitting and hits the Claymore on Benjamin and gets the victory in a 2-on-1 match, which just keeps making Drew look stronger and stronger going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it's making Lashley madder and madder, and he's pretty much just had it up to here, if you want to use that little expression, with Alexander and Benjamin. Now they're officially banned from ringside. Now he's like, screw it, let's see if anyone else wants to do it. Goes into the Raw locker room, says, if anybody takes out Drew McIntyre, you'll get a title shot. Humberto Carrillo right there, he looked interested. So it'll be interesting to see if Humberto Carrillo is going to be the one that answers the call here.
He might be a little late.
You know what I mean? The guy's got no friends anyway. He's the worst friend ever. It's not like he's going to be jumping one of his buddies with McIntyre. But let's circle back to the week before here. I don't know. I feel like this is something we failed to mention last week. Is this maybe something that Cedric and Shelton are doing intentionally? Because MVP was not at ringside when they lost the titles to the New Day. It seems like MVP is just now all about Lashley and not about them. And it seems like maybe they feel slighted by this. So maybe there's something more to this that wasn't really leaked out last night. So let's see what goes forward with that. And then just to put the bow tie on this whole thing, they actually interviewed Sheamus after everything went down. And Sheamus like, I'm not going to turn down a fight. Someone wants to fight, that's what I do. I'm Irish. I kick ass. That's what I do. So then here comes Riddle with some more brilliant ideas, and Sheamus took his scooter and jammed him right in the gut with it. So John Smith, as you mentioned earlier, we're potentially going with Sheamus and Riddle potentially for MVP's United States Championship. Apparently, Ryan Joyce chimed in the private conversation that was actually Eric Bugenhagen, the guitar player, was Joe Average that won the 24/7 championship in the Old Spice commercial. If you ever go back, find him on the network while you still have it. Him playing air guitar, being so amazing with it that the actually crowd came ask him for an encore, and he came out in air guitar for an encore. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. John DeConnie, we're going to go right back to you with Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss and the Well Done Fiend. I guess you want to call him that. We like our Fiend well done here.
Yes.
Randy wanted to set on fire again.
Yeah, Alexa, we saw Alexa in her playground earlier in the evening, and she told because Randy had said, like, it ends tonight. Enough of this BS. We're putting this to bed tonight. I'm taking care of the Fiend for good tonight. And Alexa said, be careful, be careful what you wish for. So Randy heads down to the ring, and he's not ready for a match. He's just in his basketball shorts, but he does have an ominous black bag with him. We don't know what's in the bag. He gets in the ring. Alexa makes her way out to the top of the ramp at this point, and she's got her Jack in the Box that she hasn't taken all the way to the end in any of the segments that she's had it in so far. Tonight, she lets it pop out. Clear, obviously there's a fiend in it, if you will. And at that point, lights go out, lights go back on. Fiend standing behind Randy, but he's not moving. So Randy goes to the black bag, and we find out it's a gallon of gasoline. Why not? So he douses, he's kind of rushing to douse him with it, like expecting him to do something. The Fiend is not moving at all. So Randy thinks about it for a half a second and says, well, the hell with it. Hits an RKO. So now the Fiend is down. Randy, I guess, feels good about it. I guess maybe he's still pondering whether or not he's going to light him up. Alexa makes her way down right to the ropes and distracts him for a second, giving the Fiend enough time to get back on his feet, sink in the mandible claw, hit Sister Abigail, and we end the night with Alexa cackling like a witch and pointing to the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah, and the match was booked all of 5 seconds later. It's almost like the Fiend had a meeting with Postman Pierce. They were pretty quick with that graphic. It was actually the small little things that Randy Orton does. It was funny. He actually has to smell the gasoline. Like he was selling the smell of gasoline, or maybe he was making sure he didn't get diesel because diesel's not flammable, or something like that.
That's so aggravating. I can't stand that, actually. That is worse than leg slaps.
In the women's division, the Raw Women's Championship, Charlotte was all over the place. Charlotte was missing last week. Ironically enough, we didn't even notice. Apparently Charlotte came down. We find out that she actually has COVID and she's going to be sidelined. She feels fine, but apparently they took her off the poster. There is, Rick was saying WrestleMania is going to be the same without you, but then Andrade tweeted that you'll be back in time. She's just all over the place right now. But in the meantime, my prayers were answered. Peyton Royce's gripe was heard from Raw Talk. She came out. She wanted Asuka. She got her. It was a non-title match, but still, she was all business. She was dead serious. And she shined, absolutely shined last night in a losing effort. She got caught in the Asuka lock just like everybody else does, so there's no shame in that. Put her in this match, make it a triple threat, because then here comes Rhea Ripley. Rhea was the one that told us that Charlotte has COVID. So she made the challenge to Asuka for WrestleMania. There we go. So, Asuka accepted, so that is match. Our buddy James Wheeler's watching right now. He's amped for Ripley and Asuka. I am too. I think it's going to be a great match. I'll be more excited if Peyton Royce gets entered into it, but I doubt it. That's just my own little silly world right there. But if that's the way we're going with that, so that match has now been booked. In the Raw Tag Team Championship match that was booked for WrestleMania, Styles and Omos, they came out with a promo saying they can't lose at WrestleMania. And then the New Day came out reiterating that they once again just aren't a team. They asked him a bunch of questions, John DeConnie, and AJ didn't get any of them right.
Yeah, AJ failed miserably at the New Day's version of the Newlywed Game between him and Omos. He had no idea that Omos's favorite color was mauve. He guessed red.
Mauve. Mauve.
He didn't know his favorite ice cream. It's not vanilla bean, for God's sakes. It's peanut butter caramel or something like that. And of course, AJ thought his favorite superstar was AJ Styles, but it was
John Smith,
Andre the Giant.
There it is. I knew you'd like that. That was good. Good impersonation.
How do you not know that one? Come on. So all that led up to Kofi facing AJ. And though, of course, those two put on, two former champions put on one hell of a match. And one of the best comedy moments of the night, AJ set up for a phenomenal forearm, and just before he hits the springboard, Woods uses Francesca to scare the hell out of him, and he almost takes a tumble off the apron. But then he gets himself regathered. He goes for the phenomenal forearm, but by this time Kofi's waiting for it, and it grabs him and reverses it into the SOS for the win. So Kofi gets a win over AJ. Almost doesn't know whether to chase down Woods or help out AJ in the ring. Those two clearly not really a team. Their wires are crossed, but they're going into Mania with a title match. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. And like I said, they kept on harping on that match. This is two former WWE champions. This is absolutely great. In the meantime, two other former WWE champions who apparently just do not get the same respect as AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston. The Miz defeated Jeff Hardy with the skull-crushing finale. So Miz came out prior. Yes, Miz came out prior to that, not happy with the disrespect that Bad Bunny has been giving him. So he challenged. It's not going to be a tag team match. It's going to be a one-on-one at WrestleMania. I guess maybe plans changed on that, but it looks like Damian Priest and John Morrison are going to have to hang out at ringside and watch along with me and you. But good news, guys, because next Monday night, The Miz and Morrison, they're coming out with their brand new single, their diss track of Bad Bunny called Hey Hey Hop Hop. They had a sneak preview of it last night on Raw. It was absolutely incredible. Early candidate for a Grammy next year, I guess. Right? They just had the Grammys that Bad Bunny cleaned up on. Early candidate for next year's Grammys, not to mention Karl with a K award. Speaking of duets and music, Shane McMahon and Elias had a nice little duet called Braun is Stupid. Is that what it's called? That's Shane. That's not correct. Braun is Stupid. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. That was very well written. Then Elias got fed to Braun Strowman again, and same thing happened on Sunday. Just the power slam and a win. Shane seemed to be okay. He used to try to use the crutch as a weapon. Tried to hit Strowman post-match with it. That didn't do a thing. Maybe Casey Catanzaro can teach Shane how to swing a crutch correctly. But that match is now booked for WrestleMania, and then we'll get into the WrestleMania card in a moment. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, they defeated Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke after a Samoan drop on Dana. That was previously, I guess, a distraction. Reggie again flipping around all over the place like a very graceful fish, flopping around, being the distraction for Nia Jax to get to win. So here is what we have right now. Actually, going to put James again. He's chiming in. 4 matches signed last night. Mr. McMahon is off the hook. I like it. I like the enthusiasm right there, James. Great job. So here's what we have booked so far: 8 matches. These are not in night order. We've got Lashley McIntyre. We got the tag team champions, Raw Women's Championship, Bray and Randy. Now I have Daniel Bryan in the parentheses there. We don't know if he's going to be added to that or not. He's got that grape that we talked about. Sasha, Bianca, Braun and Shane, and then Bunny versus The Miz. which leaves us with the potentials of what we have left. We have Riddle and Sheamus possibly starting. We have the SmackDown tag title situation going. I'm a firm believer of, like I said, Natty and Tamina getting the tag title shot. Cesaro and Rollins is almost a layup, along with Ian Cruz. And then Sami and Kevin Owens, we'll get to that in a second. They kind of got into it this past Friday on SmackDown. But then we have question marks on the bottom here. The Hurt Business, Bailey's off the card. Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. Who knows? And I just kind of threw Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin together just to get them something. There's no reason. We got 16 slots here, possibly 18 with pre-shows. Let's see if we can get Shinsuke and Baron Corbin going here, right? What else are you going to do with them? Quick recap of SmackDown. There's only a couple things we'll talk about because most of it was Fastlane related. Again, bringing up Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, probably the greatest hype video for a match in the history of not just SmackDown, not just in professional wrestling history. Corey Graves leads it in with, some would call this an epic battle on the horizon. And then they cut to the video with the announcer who does all this stuff, who's really, really good. I'm going to do him no justice. Now it's time for, perhaps, the least anticipated battle in the history of SmackDown. The irritatable force meeting an unlikable object in a match that no one asked for. Unfortunately, there must be a winner, but thankfully, there will be a loser when King Corbin takes on Sami Zayn next. I felt out of my chair. I was laughing so hard. This was absolutely very well done. Glad that you can see they can have a little bit of fun with this, some heel-on-heel action. Listen, John Smith, this is up your alley. Do you want to talk about this match, or do you want me to just fast forward?
I don't have much to say about the match. I mean, the promo overshadowed the match.
Yeah, one of the Baron Corbin hit the end of days, done and done. Looked pretty squeaky clean from my recollection, if I'm remembering correctly. But they, I guess, Sami asked Kevin Owens to be at ringside. Kevin just kind of sat there. Sami attacked him, so like I said, that goes back to the WrestleMania graphic that's had. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, that would be a show stealer if they booked that for WrestleMania. So that would be absolutely great. In tag team action, the Mysterios defeated the Street Profits, and that is a huge win for the Mysterios. And then the Alpha Academy came out saying they have a problem with this because they've been owning the Mysterios lately, and they did it again. Otis got the pinfall with Otis Splash. The Street Profits were in turn went on commentary and said, for the first time ever, they had nothing to say. They were just pissed. So we actually have a 4-team. This guy's beating this guy, but they're beating them, but they're beating the original guy. And then Ziggler and Ruder is kind of sitting there laughing at all of it. So look for a fatal 4-way there for WrestleMania. And then in a match that was leading into the Women's Tag Team Championship match with Fastlane, Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler had a match that Natty and Tamina just bum rushed both of them and just beat the crap out of both of them. They are just hell-bent on the Women's Tag Team Championship. So look for Natty and Tamina to hopefully get that shot. They've been making statements for the past couple of weeks that that's what they want. So, okay, what about the two battle? James, you want to know about the Andre, John DeConnie. What about the Andre? Have you heard anything about Andre or the I call it the Vagina Cup because that trophy ironically looks like a vagina.
Yeah, that's I was just going to ask her. Go ahead, Smith.
No, I said it. I was just saying it looks more like a uterus.
A uterus, yeah. I thought it was just the female reproduction.
I'm kidding. I'm pretending that I know like the anatomy of a female.
I haven't heard anything about the Battle Royals. I know they had to take a break from them last year with everything being so fresh and new with COVID. So I don't know. Maybe they can bring them back. You can bring up some guys from NXT. John Smith and I were talking about it on Sunday. Maybe bring up some guys from NXT to fill out both guys and gals Battle Royals. So, gentlemen, we were going to bid you adieu for the time being. It is that wonderful, wonderful point. Oh, that's not it. Of the show where we are going to travel overseas and bring in Gary Mehaffy and the name tag over the face again. There we go. Gary, top of the evening to you, my friend, my laddie.
Evening, and I can't wait to review the first ever mixed tag match in NXT UK.
Yeah.
Oh no, hang on, wait, sorry, that's last week.
Yeah, I didn't change my intro. Normally, I just kind of like just get rid of some stuff in the intro and just insert the play. You're a fixture. You're a mainstay. You've been on for about 40 whatever episodes now. Like you're good. So, but yeah, we're gonna start with like I said, I bet a lot of money on Jordan Devlin retaining the Cruiserweight Championship against Trent Seven. The odds. I think I bet $1,000 to win $5. But
yeah, I would have said
made the weight. He came in on the bump at it was like 204.5. And they had they had a great match. Again, don't disappoint.
Yeah, I mean the odds on against Devlin were, unlike myself, slim. But that has to be said. It was the announcement on the NXT show had almost obviously taken everybody kind of slightly out of it. But in saying that, it really was a tremendous match, and as you say. Seven really had got himself down and into the best shape of his life. And they had a great match now, like with a lot of kickouts, even Seven kicking out of the Devlin side. But you had the 450 splash to the back in the pin. Although I was watching, there's a video on the NXT UK Twitter, one of these exclusive for the network videos, where you have Trent Seven. I'm not saying he's teasing a heel turn, but he's teasing afterwards saying, I have to think I got into the best shape of my life and it didn't win. Something needs to change. What's going to change? And it's like, oh, okay. But no, it was a great match. That I have a lot of respect. I was always kind of on the fence with Trent Seven, if I'm honest about it. I thought he was okay, but how good was he? But he showed me exactly how good he was last week.
Yeah, he won me over in the tournament, to tell you the truth. Those couple times, I remember the conversation. I was laughing because every time the bell rang, he was in the wrong corner. And by the time he got over to his corner to get a drink of water, the next round started. He didn't get. Yeah, he's got it. I appreciate Trent Seven a lot more, especially as of late, and especially again after that match. And then speaking of legends of the business and great performers, Miko Satomura, she defeated Dana Luna, and again Miko She's shined. This time she got the win. She's still coming off the loss from Kaylee Ray, which is, it's not a bad thing.
No, as I say, it was good because she kind of saw. I think that's going to be her role, and I know she beat Dani Luna, and there's the show of respect afterwards. But I think that you'll probably see her for the next little while on TV with some of the women who have signed her a little bit newer and maybe a little bit greener. That she'll get TV time with them to kind of help them and bring them on in a role. But it was good to see her get the win because, as you say, she is a legend and she is unbelievable. I was going to say for her age, but for any age, she's unbelievable. So it's great to have her on the TV all the time.
Yeah, that's twice now. She beat Dani Luna in a great match, and then her first match with Isla Dawn, and we'll get to. Might as well bring it there now. The Isla Dawn, she's gonna do Wanda Maximoff proud. I don't know if you're an MCU fan here, Gary, but with all this hype from WandaVision and now that she's the Scarlet Witch, now here comes Isla Dawn with being the White Witch, the tarot cards, and the Ouija board. Yeah. That's gonna be a lot of fun seeing where she goes with that. But going back to Dani Luna, she was a little dejected after the match. They did a little post-match interview. It's like, well, you know what? She's the best. I just got to get up. I got to try again. I got to be better. Great mentality. As I said, Dani Luna, I'm assuming she's younger.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in it. And I think she realized she put up a good fight. But then here comes Andrews with a ring jacket and a bottle of water. And we got you, kid. So that's random.
Yeah, because it's interesting because I was thinking with them kind of, okay, where do they go next after everything that's happened? And if they make sort of a new faction with maybe the two of them and Dani Luna and maybe one or two other ones put in, could be really interesting. That could be really good, just an interesting, fresh way to take it.
Yeah. Looks like Xia Brookside's got a new workout, buddy.
I'm loving these segments. I was shocked at the time that Xia Brookside won. I really was. But since they've done it, she just, as I've said, she comes across as just lovely and as if she is genuinely just having the funniest time filming these. It just looks like it's brilliant. And Nina, I actually think Nina Samuels down the line is going to come out of this as a face. I think she's going to end up turning at some point down the line here because she's coming across. She's showing some good comic and good funny sides to me during this as well. So I think she's really it's shown a side to her that I hadn't seen before on TV. Really,
yeah. I was actually thinking two things when I was watching this. I'm like, all right, Zaya's being a little rough right now. Like she's being like, okay, like with the apartment and everything, she was having fun at the beginning. Now she's just kind of being a B here. Yeah. And when she asked her to move the weights, I'm like, oh, if I was Nina's gonna crack her with that 5-pound weight. She didn't. So I'm like, okay, I thought she was gonna get her with something, but I guess maybe they have to have maybe like a week or two left. This isn't gonna go on for a month, right?
Yeah, it's only a month. I think there can only be another week left, I think.
Yeah. I spy a Jersey guy here, Garrett. Nathan Frazier with the win over Ashton Smith with a frog splash. Not only the name change here, he switched colors. He went from the all white to the all black. He looks pretty badass.
Yeah, he does. There's a little bit of an attitude change during it as well, the way he was going up about himself. So it'll be. I'm interested to see what they do with him. As I say, the name when I heard it at first, it made him sound like some sort of country and western singer, as I said last week. But you know how good he is and even how young he is, and he's only in the business like a couple of years. And you do look at him and go, he is someone that they really could build around. And that if they want to push this on to bigger things, he's the sort of person that you want to have as a foundation stone, definitely in this. And he's just brilliant. Ashton Smith, to be fair, it actually, again, is one of these people in the last 6 months has shown me a good bit. And so it was a good win for Nathan over him.
Yep. Your girl Ginny and Joseph Connors, they were not happy with how that mixed tag match that we were supposed to be discussing right now. They're not happy with how it went. They're saying they used an illegal maneuver to win the match, so they're not counting it as a loss. But Joseph Connors is upset. He wants Jack Starz one-on-one. So they didn't announce when. Maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks. I really don't think they'll bring it to Prelude. We're going to get to Prelude in a second, but it looks like we're going to get Joseph Connors and Jack Starz.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, no, it's just as I've said, I mean, on Jack Starz, it's been good to see him get a little bit more time, and rather than just say, oh, Jack Starz is in the ring, well, he's going to lose. Now they're giving him a little bit of something, and they're slowly but surely building him up into something. So you could nearly see him beating Joseph Connors, to be fair about it. But
so I was with you. I'm about halfway there with you. I'm like, okay, Jack Starz. Okay, this is gonna be good. He's still gonna lose, but it's still gonna be, like, hey, Jack Starz. Like with Leon Ruff. They see Leon Ruff, and now even though he wins once or twice, the guys. Kenny Williams. Speaking of matches coming up in the immediate future, in 2 weeks, Kenny Williams. He scored a tag team championship match for him and Amir Jordan. So Amir was like, all right, okay, I'm in. Like he was upset with how they won their last match. He doesn't want to use heel tactics. But Kenny's like, dude, it's all forgiven. So they got pretty deadly, not this Thursday, but next Thursday.
Yeah.
So we will get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that next week if you want to save it, but you can say whatever piece you want now real quick.
No, I was just going to say, it will be a good match. And I have genuinely loved, like, there's nothing on NXT UK. It's not done too slowly, but nothing's done too quickly. And they have, over the last couple of months, just kind of brought the Kenny Williams kind of almost heel tactics and heel mannerisms up to the fore, the more and more and more. And as you say, for all of his, oh, yeah, I know, I shouldn't have done it. I was like, so I reckon there'll be more, as you say, more build of that this week, probably, I would imagine, on Thursday night.
And then actually this Thursday, this was actually kind of a funny segment. Ilya Dragunov was actually trying to apologize for the way he's been acting recently, and then here comes Sam Gradwell. He's a jerk. He's right up there with Isaiah Swerve Scott. He's a jerk. But he said, like, I'll beat you in any type of match. I'll beat you in this. I'll beat you in that. And he was rattling off a bunch, random, bar fights or whatever. It was actually kind of fun. But then he mentioned no DQ, and Dragunov stopped him. And like, okay, I'll take that one. So we're going to have a no disqualification match this Thursday. It is a 4 p.m. start time again, correct there? You guys didn't move your clocks yet, right?
Yeah, that's yeah.
So Sam Gradwell and Ilya Dragunov. I think Dragunov's going to snap either way, but is there any way? Oh, that 3-0 and 0-3 kind of stands out there, doesn't it, Gare?
Yeah, as you say, I can see Dragunov will snap, and as you say, because it's no DQ, it's not as if that DQ can come, and I think that Dragunov will go over. But
Yes.
Gradwell again is another one of these ones that if you'd have asked me 2 months ago, I'd have said, nah, sorry, see you later. But he started to show me with the attitude and the mouthiness.
Yeah.
Like he's got himself over and he's got himself in a nice wee some sort of program here with Dragunov. So fair play to him.
Yeah, he's an original, I think. I don't know if he was in that first tournament or the second tournament. Like Sandra, I just thought it was maybe like a Tyson. I don't even know where Tyson Tebow's been. He's been back around recently, but I thought maybe they were just off TV because there wasn't a spot for him, or they were still training, whatever. I didn't know Gradwell was hurt, so I guess they were just waiting for him to come back and to be this guy, and to be this this guy running around causing problems, watching on his cell phone. And then we got the big announcement from Johnny Saint. In 3 weeks' time, or actually 2 weeks' time, WrestleMania week, we're going to have, I guess, the first NXT UK special. It's not a takeover. It's going to be on the Thursday in place of the programming. Hopefully it's 2 hours. That hasn't been announced yet. But they announced 2 matches for it. The first, Johnny Saint's not happy with Noam Dar for booking all these Heritage Cup championship matches. So he's not going to give Noam Dar the shot that he wants, but he's going to put him up against Tyler Bate, where the winner will get a kid at some point. So number one contenders match. It's going to be a British rounds match. And then Walter's big announcement last week. It wasn't really not a big announcement. He wanted to know whose next challenger was going to be. And 5 seconds before you get the phrase out of his mouth, Rampage Brown's music.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking like backstage before we started. We were saying that with all the ways that the Drew and Sheamus matches have been, like just two boys just pounding on each other, I would say that Walter and Rampage are just going to absolutely beat 7 bells out of each other.
Oh yeah,
and that's not a bad call. I would say that Ciampa and Walter is not a bad call. I would say.
It's not, because Walter's going to be jet lagged as hell. I can tell you that right now, because he's probably going to fight Ciampa on the Wednesday for the UK title, and then have to defend it against Rampage Brown the next day. So yeah, we were discussing with Ryan that there's something screwed up happened, whether the travel ban was lifted after all this was taped, or the takeovers stuff was thought of after all this was taped. But yeah, it's going to be a little screwy. It already has been with the Jordan Devlin situation.
It was, I think, the worst one of the two. I mean, Walter going across, you could go, if you can suspend your disbelief, as you say, of saying, oh, we're here on the Wednesday, here on the Thursday. Okay. It was the Devlin one where you kind of went, Wednesday night, oh, I'm going to fight you to unify the titles, except tomorrow night I'm going to fight somebody else. Yeah. You go, really? What? No. And so it was the one that seems to have been, say, lost in translation somewhere, I think. But thankfully, I say the 2 matches are nice for Prelude, and there'll be more to come. Probably a women's one at some point, I would say. Yeah. It'll be definitely, it's going to be worth a watch.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. Unfortunately, that's probably the worst. WrestleMania week falls on the absolute worst week for me. But I will be watching on delay. But Gary, thank you so much. Next week, like I said, we're going to be talking about Dragunov. We're going to talk about the no DQ match and then preview the tag team championship match. So looking forward to it, Gary. Thank you as always, and enjoy the rest of your night.
I shall see you soon. Have a good one.
So that's going to bring back in John Smith, John DeConnie, and we're going to go with the stateside version of NXT. And John Smith, it got a little tricky recently. Actually, it was announced today. I guess we'll get to all that at the end. But the NXT last Wednesday, it started with Scarlett Bordeaux seeing visions of Finn and Karrion Kross draped in gold, ripping off the Undisputed Era's claim. So she booked a tag team championship match, or Lorcan and Birch. They came out, and then the match just happened, and that main evented the show.
Yeah, it was along the same lines as the Sasha and Bianca thing. I don't know why they're doing that here also. But it quickly went awry at the end of that match because, Balor ran into Scarlett unintentionally, or he pushed Lorcan into her or whatever. Either way,
Yeah.
she got knocked down, and Cross was not happy about it, and she wasn't either. And he gave him the forearm to the back of the head, and we got a good story leading up. But props to Lorcan for beating Karrion Kross and Finn Balor 1-on-2. All right, because Danny Burch got injured with a double suplex from Karrion Kross at the very beginning of this match, and Lorcan pulled the whole thing off himself.
I tell you, Oni Lorcan, I've been a fan. I've loved Oni Lorcan since the beginning. I've loved the fact, and I've said this before. I don't even know if I've said this on air. I said it once again in pre-production. There is nothing more vicious in wrestling than an Oni Lorcan hot tag. He is
and he didn't even need it.
Animal.
He didn't even need a hot tag to win.
No, he was in the whole entire time. But yeah, what you're alluding to, Danny Burch separated his shoulder, and before we went on air, a couple hours earlier today, William Regal officially vacated the NXT Tag Team Championships. I honestly, John, I would have let Lorcan just defend them on his own. Like kind of like what Seth Rollins had to do when Ambrose turned on him.
Yeah, but I mean, if they want to do continuity, they should just be handing these titles over to MSK, in my opinion. But I don't think that's what they're going to do.
That it is. They're the number one contenders. They've earned it. Might as well just hand it to them. That's the presentation tomorrow night. They're going to address the situation tomorrow night. The NXT Tag Team situation. I'm sure MSK will be involved in it. I'm sure Grizzled Young Veterans will be involved in it. Possibly Breezango, Legato. There's a couple there. I was hoping kind of for a ladder match, just let Oni Lorcan try to defend him on his own, and just have him lose it that way instead of just taking him off him. Adam Cole shot a promo. He is going to end Kyle O'Reilly for costing him the NXT Championship. Kyle O'Reilly was not there because Regal banned him from the CWC for being. I guess he's not medically cleared, so. He wasn't supposed to be there last week either. He appeared on the Titantron saying he was going to end Adam Cole. Then all of a sudden, they're both you see them both in handcuffs. And Adam Cole saying that Kyle O'Reilly tried to run him off the road. So I'm like, okay. This is personal. So this is going to be a gimmick match at TakeOver eventually. John Smith, any type of stipulation you want to see out of these two?
Oh, wow. Out of these two, I want to see probably Falls Count Anywhere would be the best thing for them. It doesn't I mean, that still makes it hardcore, but it doesn't need to have that hardcore title to it or a no DQ title to it. I want to see something where, a better stipulation than that, where they could pin him anywhere.
Okay. Austin Theory, he had a match with Dexter Lumis. The rest of the way was not there. This was the last part of his therapy, John Smith. Austin had to do it on his own.
Yeah, and he actually looked really good. It wasn't just a squash like we thought it might have been. Theory was getting his stuff in. He had the upper hand for much of the match. It wasn't 50-50, of course, because Lumis is still the more dominant of the two, but towards the end, it looked like Dexter Lumis was turning around and he wanted to be friends with Theory. So Theory decided to give him a big hug. And Lumis decided that he was just going to hug Theory's arm and head and put him to sleep on the floor. So that's how that one ended. And, we all saw that coming, but I think they put on a really good show in the meantime.
Yeah, it's true. Austin Theory, he's more entertaining than I guess we maybe originally got him credit for after that call up to Raw, the random call up to fill in for Andrade. So he's doing very well. Timothy Thatcher was allegedly taken out by Imperium. At least that's what Tommaso Ciampa thinks. So Tommaso Ciampa took out Alexander Wolf in retaliation, and he was going to take out the rest of them one by one. John DeConnie, and I guess he had a match with Bartel first.
Yeah, he told Mackenzie to go find them and asked them if they had seen Wolf. And when they realized that the answer was no, it was going to be because they messed up. By the time it was time for that match at the end of the night, it would be a one-on-one. So fast forward, most of the show, because that was early on in the show. Towards the end of the night, Ciampa is, Bartel and Eichner are at ringside, and Ciampa's the next one to come out. So we're kind of looking up the ramp, waiting for him, and all of a sudden he takes Eichner out with a steel chair while they're still doing their, cleaning their shoes off before they step on the mat, which is sacred. And so it became just Ciampa and Bartel, and big surprise, a Willow's Bell would end this one. It was only about a 4.5-minute match. But then afterwards, things got real interesting when the music hit again, and Walter approached the ring. Eichner and Bartel jumped Ciampa. Walter would powerbomb him and stand over him at the end, but the ring general is here stateside, and wow, did that just make things for Stand and Deliver a whole lot more interesting.
It did. It's a little inter-promotion showdown. I believe that was what our friend James Wheeler was talking about. I know John Smith replied to him, yeah, TakeOver. We'll go over, John Smith. We're going to go over your TakeOver card again. See how well you're doing right now. In other matches, Legado del Fantasma, they defeated Breezango with a double leg slap. Then Jordan Devlin came out. They got in each other's faces. Devlin fired the first shot. It was a headbutt to Santos Escobar. His mouth was a little, bleeding right there. So first, what was it? What are you saying, John?
If you're talking to me, I can't hear you right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. John the County, can you hear me? I can hear myself. Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Gotcha. So Jordan Devlin fired the first shot. That match was made official for TakeOver. Oh, let's get the. There we go. Then there was a video package for Saul Ray. So now we have let me just see what we're doing here. Boom, boom. Now we have our next. John, the guy's having audio problems. All right, John, we'll put you backstage for the time being until we can hear me. John DeConnie, is this our next undefeated, unbeatable Japanese superstar? Like now it's time for Io Shirai to ride off into the sunset on the main roster and never be beaten for the championship just like Asuka did. And I guess here's the next one in line, right?
Yeah, well, my first thought was Stephanie McMahon's probably pretty pissed because clearly Triple H has a type.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
Yeah. She's cute.
And the next one in line is the Warrior of the Sun.
The Warrior of the Sun. Staying in the women's division, actually, I was watching NXT with John Smith last Wednesday, and they asked Dakota Kai and Zoe Stark, and I'm like, God damn it, like they're gonna make Dakota lose to the Stark. Like I was like legitimately upset that I was just about to watch Dakota Kai lose. And she did. She came out with the win. She got one of her kicks in for the win. Great performance by Zoe Stark up there. But post-match, Io Shirai came out with the contract, handed it to Raquel Gonzalez, and then walked away. So Raquel then signed it, and now it has made the NXT Women's Championship a main event night. Won the Wednesday, the last show, allegedly the last NXT on Wednesday night for USA Network on Wednesdays. And then John DeConnie, LA Knight made his debut.
He certainly did. We catch LA Knight all the way coming from backstage, and we see that right after he leaves his locker room. Good, you need to bump me out for a second?
No, go for it. No, finish your thought. We'll switch it for Impact.
All right. So, once he leaves his locker room, we see Bronson Reed kind of make his way into it. LA Knight comes out. He has his entrance. He gets into it. His opponent is August Gray. And rather early in the match, Bronson Reed makes his way out onto the top of the ramp. He's wearing LA Knight's very snazzy blue leather jacket. He gives us a little fat guy in a little coat, flexes, rips it. LA Knight is beside himself because that's according to our ringside announce team, that was Gucci. That was custom made. But in the end, it didn't matter much. LA Knight would eventually grab, and I don't know what he's going to call this. I've never quite seen it before. He grabbed a cravat on Gray and brought him down for a rising knee to the face. Grabbed the cravat again and gave him what kind of looked like a bulldog, just like a face buster out of the cravat, which I'd never really seen before. He gets the win there, and LA Knight 1-0. And certainly Bronson Reed seems to be on the horizon because I'll bet he's a little ticked about his leather jacket.
Yeah, exactly. Bronson Reed interfered. LA Knight got the win. LA Knight's that good, and that's not an insult, John DeConnie. That's just a fact of life. Going into tomorrow night, we're going to rewind back. I forgot to mention this. Zoe Stark is going to team up with Io Shirai. They're going to be facing the Dusty Cup winners and former NXT Women Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. John DeConnie, who do you got?
That's a tough one. Maybe Zoe takes a pinfall here to, Dakota can tie up with Io and Raquel can pin Zoe. Give me the heels. All
right, John Smith.
I'm going to go the other way with it. I think Zoe Stark pins Dakota Kai in this one because she's eaten a couple losses now, and I think she's got to start, getting some pinfalls in her favor.
All right, I'm gonna go with Io. I'm gonna go with Io pinning Dakota on this one. Exactly. We get Zoe back on the winning way here because that was my fear last week. I'm like, oh my god, like she's new. Like there's no way I'm gonna make her lose right now. That's I'm not gonna be shocked if Dakota and Raquel. John Connor, exactly right. This is a complete toss. I have absolutely no idea what they're gonna do here. They could go, one of every single which way. Raquel could pin Io again. That's 100% possible now. We've seen it once before. So, and then Wise Women once said that champions need challengers. So we're going to have our first NXT Women's Tag Team title defense for Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. They're going to be challenged by Aaliyah and Jessica Mia John Smith. Now, in the illustrious history of the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, no champions have ever defended the title.
I think history is about to change.
Yeah, I would have to concur. I think the Robert Stone brand takes an L.
Yeah, poor Robert Stone. He's a Jersey guy. You try to root for him. It's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the champs to retain on this one. I'm gonna flip you guys now. There we go. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
we got our graphic back. John Smith, real quick. I'll rattle it off for you just because I want to run low on time here. But this is what we have booked for your takeover so far. You're 3 for 3. We got the 3 championship matches. You predicted those correctly. Everything else for you potentially, I guess, was definitely on the bottom. I guess it's across Dorkin and Birch off that. But you have, 4, 5, 6 teams there that could potentially go in there. LA Knight, Bronson Reed, Pete Dunne, Kushida, that hasn't started yet, so that's kind of probably the biggest wild card. Everything else seems pretty chalk right now, so you're looking pretty good with your predictions. Any thoughts on this? James has one.
I think we could still get the Kushida Dunne thing going because we didn't really see much out of Dunne last week anyway. No. And as far as the tag team titles is concerned, the ladder match would be perfect. A 5-team or 4-team ladder match would be great. I'd rather that than another tournament. We just had a tournament.
Yeah, James Wheeler's calling for Leon Ruff and Isaiah Scott to be on TakeOver. They were supposed to have a match last week. It got delayed because of COVID. So he was looking for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's TakeOver worthy yet, unfortunately.
Well, this is news to me. Travis spreading rumors right now. I hope this one is a rumor. Pete Dunne had a pretty bad X-ray today.
I did not hear about that.
I did not either. So,
oopsies.
So switching gears now from NXT to their new potential rival. There's rumors going around that after WrestleMania, NXT will be airing on Tuesday nights because USA will be airing Wednesday night rivalry night for our beloved National Hockey League. See how Dynamite does against those ratings. But on Impact, John Smith, our new Impact Tag Team Champions, Finjuice, titles weren't on the line. Statement win, but they had a little bit of they're gone already.
Yeah, they told the Good Brothers. Well, the Good Brothers came out after the obvious win by Finjuice. I don't think any of us thought that Triple XL, even though they're one of my favorites, was going to win that. Birch with the X-ray today.
Thanks, Travis.
Done. Okay, cool.
You're making me spread rumors, Travis. See?
Rumor spreader. Anyway, so the Good Brothers came out and said that they wanted their rematch, But Finjuice told them that they're going to have to wait till after April because they're about to head back to New Japan. So they're taking those belts with them. So I think that means the Good Brothers are going to follow them over there, I think.
That'd be fun. There you go. They're overseas. I saw pictures with them overseas. I believe David Finlay went to the semifinals, if not the finals, of the New Japan Cup, and the two of them are holding the belts pretty proudly. But yeah, the Good Brothers have to wait till Rebellion to get their rematch for the Impact Tag Team Championships. Going into tonight, though, let's see, we got random content, random pairing. Karl Anderson is going to be going up against Eddie Edwards, John McConney.
Yeah, I guess they're going to get into it backstage. Eddie is amongst the Impact faithful who are absolutely disgusted with the fact that they lost the belts across the Forbidden Door, and they now have no tag titles on Impact, and got to wait almost 2 months to get them to see them back, or a month. Give me Eddie Edwards in this one, just because.
All right, John. Doc Gallows probably going to be at ringside.
Yeah, I got Anderson winning this, and you know what? They could always go find the old TNA tag team titles and pull them out and start wearing those around.
Why not?
Yeah, Moose, where'd you find that one? I'm sure the other ones are.
Exactly.
I'll go. I'm gonna go Karl Anderson 2-on-1 right now. I don't think Cardona's gonna get involved. He's enthralled with Myers right now, so I think his little buddy cop thing with Eddie Edwards is done. John McConney, Eddie Edwards isn't the only one that's upset here. Tommy Dreamer went in and talked to Scott D'Amore. It's like, dude, we don't have tag champions right now. What the hell? And D'Amore, he kind of went off on him a little bit, like Dreamer's stupid, and he was a part of the company that was run out of business. And like, if you're so smart, then you run Hardcore Justice.
Yeah.
So Tommy already had the match booked, and he scheduled it for WrestleMania Saturday. Like, when they did this, I'm like, this is actually kind of genius. Like Tommy's gonna put this head to head with WrestleMania. And it's going to draw nothing. Like, they're going to just take the L as a whole just to crap on Tommy Dreamer here. So I thought this could have been something different, John McConney. Like,
yeah, I mean, he gets to be GM for one night or for one afternoon, as it will apparently turn out to be. And I don't like his odds. But
yeah, everyone's going to be tailgating. Anyway, well, see, it's going to be a great show. I'm going to be watching. I'm glad they switched the times. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 2 shows at once like that. That would have been tough. Rich Swann, he did a promo. He's back full circle with Kenny Omega. He's still upset about his loss in January. He was the one that took the L on Team Impact from Kenny Omega, the One-Winged Angel. Don Callis came out. He hugged Swann. He said he was a big Swann guy, but now he's a Kenny Omega guy. And Swann doesn't stand a chance. Swann was very dejected by that. So we'll see that moving forward with that. But then in the main event, John McConney, is this over or like this? I thought this was going to happen. Like, I don't. This is weird.
Yeah, especially the fact that they gave it 25 minutes. These two beat the living hell out of each other for 25 minutes. And but nothing's ever over with Sami Callihan. I'm still every week I'm waiting for Tessa to jump out and hit him with a chair, but but yeah. So Trey had the upper hand towards the end of this one. It was back and forth. It was ugly. Trey got to the top buckle and he was ready to hit something high risk, but Sami kind of pulled the ref in close, and Trey had no room to make the leap. And he was yelling to the referee, I gotta go for it, get out of the way. And Sami used that distraction to come over, knocked Trey's feet off the top buckle, kind of had him upside down for a minute. So he used that to put him in the package pile driver for the win. And he gets the win. But once again, is anything ever really over when it comes to
It
Sami.
isn't, but it almost seems like it is. Like they built this. You figured they would have stretched it to Rebellion, and like I was hell bent on Ken Shamrock coming out last week, to keep this going. But like that was a decisive win right there for Sami.
If this frees up Sami to go over and even dabble in a little trios action with Kingston and Moxley, then I'm all for it. Let them put this on the back burner, forget about it for a little while. So if it is over, I hope it leads to that.
Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, I just mentioned them before. They're still going at it. Brian Myers said point blank, I don't want you here. So they're going to be having a sit down with Matt Cardona tonight on Impact. Rhino defeated Jake something after a gore. Then Chris Sabin came down. He got a gore. James Storm came down. He got a gore. He was giving them out like candy last week. Turned into a 4-on-3 beatdown. Any predictions? Who will be the fourth person to come out and help Sabin, Storm, and Jake something in this feud?
I can't even. I'm trying to think of who's maybe Swinger. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who's hanging around backstage.
He's still injured, right? So is Heath like how much longer does he have? He's is Alex Shelley.
Yeah, if he gets healthy, sure.
Why we still don't know why Alex Shelley had to take off in January. Like he never said it was anything. He said he was fine. It wasn't COVID, wasn't injury. He just had to take care of something, and we haven't seen him since. So hopefully everything's all right. Rohit Raju defeated Shira with a roll. There was Impact ripping off Raw with a Shira with a roll up and the feet on the bottom rope. The faces, I don't even remember who was in this. The faces beat at the Hills in the 12 knockouts tag team match when Jazz made Kimberly tap to a crossface. The referee had absolutely zero control in that match. He should be fired. Like that was absolutely awful refereeing right there. Can't contain that match. So it's 12 women on each side. And then the random quote in the match by D'Lo Brown that Deonna and Jazz were the two best women in the division. I thought that was just so random. Why he would throw Jazz's name, and then they announced for tonight it's Jazz versus Deonna Purrazzo. So now I get it. There we go. John Smith, who do you got in Jazz versus Deonna Purrazzo?
It's not for the title, right?
No.
I got Jazz then.
All right, John Connie.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say that Jazz wins with some kind of roll up or some kind of wackiness here, but I'm just gonna go with Deonna because I don't see them giving Jazz a title shot if whatever. Give me Deonna.
Josh Alexander, maybe he was in line. Actually, I'll get to that match right now. The TJP is going to be getting his rematch with the X Division Championship. Josh Alexander was in that line for the X title. Maybe he can come out and help. That would actually be a nice little addition to that three-man unit with Sabin, Storm, and Jake. Keep on forgetting Jake something. It's Jake something. Yeah, so we actually have an X Division Championship rematch. Ace Austin, it's I guess missed 2 out of 3 now. TJP got him a couple months ago to break Ace Austin's undefeated streak. Ace Austin got TJP at the last pay-per-view Sacrifice. Now they are going to get at it again tonight for the X Division Championship. They love kicking off the show with the X Division. I absolutely love it. It gets me going right out of the gate. John Nicani, who do you got?
Give me Austin retaining here. I think this solidifies his upcoming run.
Yeah, and there was I forget who else was in that line. It was Josh Alexander was there. Who was the other one that was in that line? Somebody of importance.
Everybody wanted a shot last week backstage.
Yeah. And then TJP just hopped right in front of everybody. John Smith.
Chris Bay. I'm gonna go with Austin. Austin's gonna keep his title. I don't think he's losing the title, but they could do so many different things with the ending of this match. But no matter what, he's not losing the title.
I concur with that. I got Ace Austin with the victory. So that's 2 jerseys right there. Ace Austin, Deonna Purrazzo were doing it. And I believe Tasha Steelz is on being the elite, which probably started already. Right, she's fighting Alicia, right, in a random match. And then our beloved gauntlet belt collector, Kenny Omega, he's returning to the Impact Zone. Don't know if he's going to be in the zone. Doesn't know if he's going to be in the trailer, but he will be on Impact tonight. Gentlemen, we are going to bid you do one last time. Go get some groceries this time. Say hi to your loved ones. I forgot to mention that to you. We will be back with you shortly as we bring it back in fresh off vacation from minutestobelltime.com. The show suffered without you last week. The graphics were terrible. Travis did great, though. It's not on Travis. That's mostly I'm just trying to make a joke of myself here. But Ryan Joy is back. Ryan, how is everything going today?
Very good. Very good. So I'm glad to be back. I got a lot of wrestling to watch. I caught up mostly, so things are good.
Good. And then, like last week, I said you were off on the Daily Wrestling News Show, and you did WrestleMania week, and
A lot of fun.
that was a lot of fun. I rewatched those. Those are, if you please, for those who missed the Daily Wrestling News Show last week, WrestleMania week. I was fortunate enough to get 2 episodes in. I got WrestleMania 6 and 36. John DeConnie had WrestleMania 4. You kicked off the week with that. Travis had 24. John Smith had 18. I believe we still have more coming too, right?
Oh yeah, we do. I've got a WrestleMania 3 in the can, a WrestleMania 19, WrestleMania 20. All those have been recorded, and they'll be coming people's way next time I need a day off, which coincidentally I think is going to be WrestleMania week because I got a lot of independent shows here in the Florida area to get to. So
yeah, you have a busier week than I got a busy week that week too. I'm going to be missing a lot of stuff here, but yeah, we're great. We are looking forward to it. So New Japan Cup in the books.
That's right.
Will Ospreay. Did anybody have Will Ospreay in our pool?
Oh yeah, my wife did. I did. John DeConnie did.
Really?
Yes.
Did anybody had? So nobody else had Tetsuya Naito other than me. I was the only one that had.
No. Nobody had Naito. Nobody had Naito winning, but some people had Naito going deep. But no, yeah, and David Finlay making it as far as he did. Everybody had Jay White towards the end, in the final 4.
Yeah.
And David Finlay messed that up. So a lot of bracket busters. Obviously, by the time you get down to 1, everybody's bracket's busted. But yeah, having Okada and Taichi and Naito out on this bracket in the first round, that messed a lot of people up.
Yeah.
Even things as Juice Robinson and Kenta wasn't necessarily something that was obvious, but Evil and Takagi, they had the finals on this side of the bracket. Takagi made it through. And then on the other side, we mentioned Finlay beat Jay White to make it into the final 4. Ospreay, he beat Sonata to make it into the final 4. Ospreay would beat Finlay. Ospreay would then beat Takagi. That match was crazy. United Empire stands tall at the end. Ospreay gets the win here. He is going on to face Kota Ibushi at Sakura Genesis. That's on April 4th. But this Takagi match was crazy. There was one spot in this match where, you know how when people take a clothesline, sometimes they do a little flipperoo thing and land on their stomach? Okay, Will Ospreay took that clothesline, did the flip, landed on his feet, and kept going to the other side of the ring. So this guy's crazy. Obviously very deserving. He had some kind of a rough end of the year, beginning of the year as he was establishing this United Empire group. But this was the moment for Ospreay, and now he's got Kota Ibushi at Sakura Genesis. So that's how the New Japan Cup ended. A couple of other news stories coming out of that, though. Yo returned. Yo went down with an injury in last year's New Japan Cup, and so now he is coming back. He and Yo and Sho will be challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships at Sakura Genesis April 4th. And there's something else that's interesting. LIJ, Naito, Sonata, and Shingo Takagi are going to be wrestling the other members of the United Empire, Okan, Cobb, and a mystery guy, a new guy for the United Empire. So it's interesting to start throwing around names of who we think that could be. Of course, it's really interesting that Andrade is on the open market right now, and he's one of the original members of Los Ingobernables, and this match is against Los Ingobernables de Japón. So a lot of interesting people out there that could be slotted into this position. It'll be fun to see who it is.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation with you and Travis this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show, going over guys. I know Travis was big on Brian Cage.
Yeah, that open portal.
It'd be very interesting.
The open portal makes it like really wide open. You know, Lance Archer with his experience over there, Gallows, Anderson, all these different things.
Yeah,
that could be happening. One thing to mention though, Finley and Robinson not on this April 4th card, and they're not on any of the shows leading up to this April 4th card. So it could be that they're on their way back already to the United States to do some Impact tapings.
Okay, cool. And then Friday is the big 19th anniversary show for Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah, that's right. And of course, that's headlined by Jay Lethal challenging Rush for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And that match should be great. You know, Rush is really fantastic. Another original member of Los Ingobernables, and Jay Lethal is like an original Ring of Honor guy, so that match should be great. Bunch of news hit just before we went on the air today, though, that Dragon Lee is actually injured. He's got a broken eardrum. Now, Ring of Honor's big thing is that all titles will be defended at these pay-per-views that they're having. Well, Dragon Lee has two of them. He has the television championship and the tag team championship. So they're going to sub in Kenny King, who is another member of Los Ingobernables de Facción, he's going to defend the TV title, and he's going to defend the tag title in place. So Kenny King versus Tracy Williams for the television championship. The pure championships on the line, Jonathan Gresham versus Dak Draper. Matt Taven versus Vincent. That match has been built up for like over 2 years, it seems like. So yeah, it's a crazy night. Ring of Honor, they start with their pre-show at 8 p.m. on Friday night. Their main show starts at 9. Again, every one of their titles is on the line. So it should be a great night for Ring of Honor. They only do like 4 of these a year. So
yeah, awesome. Looking forward to it. Looking for Jay Lethal to get the Ring of Honor Championship back to Jersey, back in Elizabeth, where it belongs.
Absolutely,
where it belongs.
Over the weekend, NWA came back with a pay-per-view, so they're starting back up. Nick Aldis had a successful defense. They dedicated the whole show to the Question Mark, who passed away recently unexpectedly. So, a lot of wrestling. Again, we say that every week during this segment, between MLW and NWA and Ring of Honor and New Japan. If you're not happy with what's on the main television screen, WWE or AEW or whatever, there's so many alternatives out there to go watch. So you should not be turned off by wrestling if you're turned off on any of the specific products.
Great point. Well, very well said, Ryan. Very well said. So we are going to put a pin in this for now. Look for the results of the 19th anniversary show. Next week, we are going to bring back in John Smith and John DeConnie, and we're going to wrap things up with AEW Dynamite. Whoa. And probably one of the most incredible, I don't even just call it a female match, one of the best matches I've seen in such a long time. Ryan Joy, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Wow.
So here's an interesting point. I know a lot of people don't credit Dave Meltzer for anything, right? If they don't, some people like him, some people don't. But here's something on a scale that he's been, using for over 30 years, the star scale. Never has a women's match achieved a 5-star rating until here. This is the first 5-star in the history of Dave Meltzer's star rating. So that's something. But this match, well-deserved. It was a crazy match. Definitely a match of the year candidate. You've got both women, bloody. Britt Baker, blood just pouring down all over her face. I think it's a trademark of her, by the way. She's selling T-shirts like crazy whenever she gets blue color. So
yeah, she doesn't clot that well. Thunder Rosa kind of clotted right away when she got busted.
Yes.
Right?
I think. I think both were blade jobs, and I think Britt Baker was a little more aggressive with hers.
Yeah.
But this match, it had thumbtacks. I can't think of the last time I've seen thumbtacks in.
Dude, those nails! Like the why do they keep doing that to themselves? Like
it was really, I always get so nervous because you see that they don't shy away from going like face first into these things. It's like, It makes me nervous, but Britt Baker had him all over her back and everything. And, ultimately it was a Thunder Driver through a table to get the pin for Thunder Rosa. She won that match. Great effort by both women though. I think Britt Baker's star rose, even though she lost this match for sure. I think she was the star of the match. I think she comes out further ahead than Thunder Rosa. But yeah, killer match. Interesting to see where they go from here. I gotta think that both these women are deserving of a championship match. I thought Britt Baker would get there first, but then she lost this match, so I don't know how that's going to play out.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now how it plays out. This match doesn't count, right? It's non-sanctioned.
Yeah, fair point. It is non-sanctioned. It doesn't count. But who has momentum to face Hikaru Shida?
Well, then Camille does, because Camille just beat Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa on Sunday.
NWA.
Which
you're exactly right. It's got to be Britt. Shida was watching, and I think they showed a video of Shida watching in the back, with the face.
Yes, the awkward TV watching stance.
So hopefully Britt gets it, because it said Thunder Rosa's great, but she doesn't even go there.
Right. But hey, you brought up that Camille thing too. That's Thunder Rosa is one of the best women in the business to not be signed to AEW or WWE. She had a killer match with Camille on Sunday as well.
Yeah, she still maybe another 8 months left in her contract. There was a big deal that they thought she was a free agent, and she's like, I got another year. Or actually, it wasn't even her; it was Corgan. It was like, no, we got it for another year and a half. Everyone just calm down. So, yeah. So kudos, absolutely amazing. The fact that Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars makes me like it a little bit less, but that's just me, my Uncle Dave. I had this. My opinion is just as equal as they're called opinions. Everybody has. Don Callis, he interrupted a Young Bucks interview saying they aren't the same Nick and Matt they once were, and that they're not elite anymore. I thought that was a little interesting. That wasn't the last time we see the Young Bucks in the they come out. John Smith, they're going to talk about now, but John Moxley and Eddie Kingston, they did a promo before. They were having a little bit of fun, but the bottom line was they don't like the Good Brothers.
Yeah, they had a funny little promo beforehand, but the Good Brothers did not take kindly to it because Eddie Kingston couldn't even really get through the entranceway before he got jumped from behind. Yeah. So then Moxley gets involved, of course, and then the match finally made its way to the ring, and they had a nice little about 10, 12-minute match, which ripping off Raw, they won with a roll-up on
everyone's dogging Raw, but everyone's rolling everybody up in other companies now. What the hell is going on here? Maybe Raw's onto something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But it was really a story of what happened after the match, because once that happened, the Good Brothers, they attacked Moxley and Kingston again, and then Omega comes out with the chair. They break Eddie Kingston's leg or do something to his leg with the chair, and they're about to do something to Moxley's neck with the chair, and the what's their name? Oh yeah, the Young Bucks come out and stop him from breaking his neck or crushing his trachea or something. Then they try to do the too sweet with them, and Nick and Matt will have nothing to do with it, and they walk away.
Yeah, they're officially done. I guess that person now is officially over, and Kenny Omega was not happy about it. Brian Joy, when he swing back to here, Kenny Omega. He has, I guess he's firing up his own Eliminator tournament. I guess he's going to fight guys, and if they can get a win, they get a title shot. Matt Sydal goes first. He qualified by beating Michael Nakazawa on
Dark Elevation.
Midnight Dark or whatever their show's called on Mondays.
Yeah, Dark Elevation. Kenny Omega gave Matt Sydal the opportunity to beat Nakazawa, which he did, and then Omega immediately tried to cash in on the match like Roman Reigns did. So in any event, Tony Khan has made this match, Matt Sydal versus Omega tonight. Nobody's getting a pin on Kenny Omega.
John Connie.
Matt Sydal. So Kenny Omega.
Yep, that John Connie.
Omega.
John Smith.
And no, just kidding. Kenny Omega.
Well, speaking of upcoming AEW World Champions and the guy who's going to beat Kenny Omega, Christian Cage did an interview that he came to AEW to put into action 3 words, and that is outwork everyone, and he will be seeing Kenny Omega later on down the road. MJF and company, they arrived to the show. The first thing we saw was them getting off a private jet. They were then in the ring. He explained that he was killing the Inner Circle from the inside and introduced his new group as the Pinnacle. I like it. They were gonna take what they want, and the first thing they want is the Inner Circle's locker room. I would have probably gone for a little bit bigger than that, but I guess it's a statement thing that the Inner Circle has their own locker room while everybody else has to change together. So they're going to want to take that first. In the meantime, tomorrow night, John DeConnie, FTR, and Shawn Spears representing the Pinnacle. They'll be going to go against the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin of Top Flight.
Yeah, I think the Pinnacle puts a stamp on their new group right here with a probably impressive first victory.
Very good. Ryan Joy.
Same.
All right, John Smith.
I'll go with Pinnacle.
There you go. I'm going to stick on the Pinnacle train, too. Shout out to Darby Allin for calling himself out for not defending the TNT Championship more often. He was too wrapped up with Team Talent, and he didn't like it. He wants to defend it more, and as a tribute to the greatest TNT champion of all time, and I honestly thought the crowd was chanting for Cody, and I almost threw up. But he was talking about Brody Lee. I saw Billy Gunn. You can see Billy Brode. So okay, they're doing Brody Lee here. But he's going to open challenge for anybody in the Dark Order. Alex Reynolds nominated John Silver. So it's going to be Johnny Hungy getting a TV title shot, John Smith, against Darby Allin. Who do you got?
I got Darby winning this. I think John Silver should win it, but I don't think he will.
It'd be incredible. John DeConnie would be incredible if you won.
Yeah, I will be rooting hardcore for John Silver, but I got to put my money on Darby retaining.
Ryan Joy, Lance Archer came out during Darby Allin's promo, and then Brian Cage came out saying, respect this thing. So there's problems with Team Taz mixed in here too, but the TNT title, especially with Lance Archer in the picture. I mean, Johnny Hunt.
I don't think Lance Archer's in the TNT Championship picture. I think he's in the Sting picture. I think that's what they're doing there. I think Darby Allin's going to work his way through most of the Dark Order members, and ultimately, I think there's a Adam Page something here in the future. But he wins against John Silver tonight, I think. Or tomorrow.
Scorpio Sky did a video package promo saying he's not a stepping stone anymore. So he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's pissed. In the opening contest, John DeConnie, Cody Rhodes, and Penta El Zero Miedo. How'd that one go?
Yeah, well, all I could think of while watching this match was how it was absolutely driving John Smith insane if he was not watching it on fast forward. Because we had Cody hits a springboard Cody cutter for 2. He hits Crossroads for 2. He hits a vertebraker out of nowhere for 2. And then he attempts the figure 4. Penta, kicks him off, reverses it. He gets it, kind of stretches him. He put them in some kind of submission that he never really got locked in, and he just decided to take that injured shoulder, kind of snap it. And then Penta stops to kind of showboat over him, and Cody rolls him up for the victory. And I thought I heard from Milburn, John throw his Andre mug against his television.
Hey, I was the only one. I was the only one that picked Cody to win last week. Actually, you 3 all picked Penta, and I knew that Cody was going to book himself to do this.
Cody completely no-sold a move that has broken numerous people's arms, and Cody's like, "Nope, it's going to roll you up. It's done." So yeah, win for Cody. Then post-match, Penta attacked Cody, but he was chased away by Dustin and the Guns. And then QT Marshall playing the part of Kenny Omega and Humberto Carrillo showing up late. You okay? You okay? That was good. I like that. They can do that over and over and over again. Just have one guy who's pissed off at him just show up late. You okay? You okay? Is everything good? You good? You good? So that was fun. And then staying with the Death Triangle. What do they do this now? Right? Ray Phoenix defeated Angelico after a Michinoku drive. It was an absolutely great match. Love that Angelico is on. Just those guys need to be featured more. TH2, both of them. And then circling back to the Bucks, there's another 6-man tag team match tomorrow night as well. Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler are going against the Lucha Bros and Kid Laredo. Ryan Joy, you were excited to see his name pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean Laredo Kid. He's one of the
Laredo Kid. Sorry, it's been a while.
Yep.
I even forgot.
He's one of the preeminent luchadors in the world, and he recently wrestled Kenny Omega for that AAA Mega Championship. So he's an important figure in wrestling, and he's going to be on Dynamite this week, wrestling alongside the Lucha Bros. And still, though, I don't think I'm going to pick them to win.
John Smith, Travis agreed with you. He wasn't happy. Well, I guess he doesn't. Well, he's not a Raw guy, so anytime he sees a roll up, he's not going to be happy with it.
Yeah, right.
Actually, excuse me, Brandon Cutler will take the pin.
Brandon Cutler, yeah, well, that's what he signed up for. He clocks in, counts for 3, then he clocks out, and hopefully he marries someone with insurance. John Smith.
What's the match again? I'm sorry.
It's the Young Bucks with Brandon Cutler versus the Lucha Bros. The brothers are back together, Ray and Penta, along with Laredo Kid.
Yeah, I'll take the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid.
There you go. John Connie, you care to make it unanimous?
Yeah, make it the Luchas.
Miro, he threw out a lot in a very short promo. First of all, the way he was doing the chin-ups with the bar, like the metal framing, that was tough. Okay, I'm not screwing with him. Not that I ever was going to, but just to make it sure, it's crystal clear, I'm not screwing with Miro. He threw out a lot in a very short promo. He's not interested in Chuck's challenge anymore. He's moved on. He doesn't want Chuck as his lifetime butler. His advice to Kip that it is never a good idea to have your wife at ringside, and we know this from experience that that didn't work well. It worked out well in the beginning. Got him a couple of United States championships. Didn't work out well in the end. So when the bell rings, like I said, Kip was upset that Penelope got involved, and that's where Rusev came. There's push-ups. Miro said all that, and it was also when the bell rings, he doesn't care about anything other than fulfilling his destiny. And then he walked away, and Kip Sabian accepted the match anyway. So in the future, it actually will be Miro and Kip versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor again. I don't know if Chuck's servitude will be on the line, but maybe Kip needs that as well. Maybe he'll be Kip's servant. Ryan, the last match, actually, there's 2 more matches left. The one that you got, there was a 10-man tag. Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher, and The Blade. They picked up the win against the Bears.
Yeah, they beat Jurassic Express and Bear Country together. Marco took gin and juice. Hardy demanded that he get tagged in. He tagged himself in, hit the twist of fate on Marco just to make sure Marco was done. They got the win.
That's it, Marty. That's it. That's how he gets the pay. I wonder if there's like pins in the contract. Like if somebody gets a pin, like they get more money. So Matt just makes sure he keeps it.
Usually, if you get pinned, you get less money at the pay window.
Yeah. And then Jade Cargill, she was impressive. She defeated Inaction. It's a glam slam. There's no name for it yet. I just want to make sure that the viewers know what her finishing. She's going to be using the glam slam. They have to find the name for it. So Beth Phoenix.
Jaded.
Jaded.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that. So Jade Cargill, breaking news. Jade Cargill's finishing maneuver is called Jaded, not the glam slam. So that's good stuff right there. And then the last match we have to talk about for next week is Dynamite. John DeConnie, Nyla Rose, and Ty Conti.
Once again, I will be rooting very hard for Ty Conti, but expecting Nyla to come away with a victory.
There you go. I completely concur. John Smith.
Give me Ty Conti. She deserves it.
I love the enthusiasm. Ryan Joy.
I think I picked Nyla Rose, but I think there's more to this. I don't think it's going to be just a match. There's going to be some sort of angle that twists off this. Nyla's with Vicky Guerrero and Jade Cargill has been appearing with them as well on the dark shows. So,
all right, so that will wrap it up for Dynamite and the week. We've got a couple more things to go over. We have number 4 now. I know last week we kind of rushed through number 5. A little upset that didn't go over just how great. I forgot to mention just how phenomenal. Once again, use Bobby Heenan and the word phenomenal says a lot when you talk about his announcing, but Bobby Heenan in that match with Roddy Piper and Bret Hart. What the hell? Use the bell. It should be on T-shirts. It should be sold. They should have made a ton of money off that. He didn't have a dog in the fight. It was face versus face, so he was looking for. It was so great. You have to go back and watch it. But we're gonna go to number 4 right now. A match that was too big for just one match. Now, what am I talking about here, boys? We're talking about babies here. We're talking about 2 fall contests for the Intercontinental Championship and the European Championship. Why people don't talk about this match more than they do is beyond me. This match was so great. Kurt Angle walked in. He was with Bob Backlund in his early stage of his career. He was about 4 or 5 months in, and he captured both the Intercontinental and European titles. Bob Backlund challenged him to defend both of them at WrestleMania in a triple threat against Jericho and Benoit. Both of them, this was all 3 of their first WrestleManias. Jericho and Benoit had just jumped. Angle was just brought in. Absolutely incredible. And the best part about this, the wrestling technique, the technicians in this, they were all babies at the time. You can see it in that picture. The way the matches ended was Chris Benoit beat Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental Championship, and then Chris Jericho beat Chris Benoit to win the European Championship. So Angle lost both titles without even being involved in the pinfalls, and he lost it. It was so great. Absolutely great. Please, nobody brings this match up in anything ever. I guess for WWE not to, I get it. It's Benoit, but like even the Benoit fans and the Jericho, we're all united. The 3 of our fandoms between these 3 guys. Why this match is not talked about more, I just don't get. But it was a lot of fun. And I believe the next night, Eddie Guerrero beat Jericho to win the European Championship. So Latino Heat was rolling after that. And then Kurt Angle actually went on to win the WWF Championship a couple months later. So he went on to bigger and better things. Any comments on that match, John Connie?
Just that, I'm a huge fan of Benoit. I'm a huge fan of Jericho. But it was heartbreaking to see our Olympic hero, the Euro-Continental champion, lose both of those belts in one fell swoop.
That's it. Ryan?
No, it's been a long time since I watched WrestleMania 2000. I think I'll have to go back and watch that.
It's underrated. It is underrated. So it was weird. It was the only WrestleMania that did not have a singles match on. There was not a one-on-one contest that entire WrestleMania. There was tag team matches, triple threat ladder matches, a fatal 4-way main event. It was not one-on-one matchup. Okay, so we got a question from James. He's chimed in with this question 3 times. He never got around to it. It's 2021 Edge slowly turning into 2014 Batista, John Connie.
I don't think so. I have an idea what he means by that, but I think it's going to be the other way around.
Ryan Joy, they both won the Royal Rumble. They both are going to main event WrestleMania. I see the comparison here.
I don't know.
Batista,
I think the difference is the people never wanted Batista back. It was just an assumption that they did. People loved Edge, they missed Edge, and he came back and injured. No, I don't think this is going to be the same thing. On to I don't know, not the giveaway. The giveaway is over. Tempe Smith, congratulations. The primetime rundown, powered by StreamYard. With Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca is now airing at 6 p.m. on Friday nights. They've been extremely busy with the college basketball. It's called March Madness. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is college basketball's version of the New Japan Cup. That there were a bunch of teams in a huge tournament, and then the winner gets the championship. So they've been extremely busy, and they take you through the world of sports and March Madness. all right here on the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. Tune in to the Daily Wrestling News Show every Monday through Thursday and every once in a while on Fridays at 10 a.m. to get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band of merry co-hosts right here on all the Eastern Observer platforms. Please go back. Definitely watch all the shows, but definitely watch last week's WrestleMania recaps. They were a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun making them. They came across with us having fun. It was really enjoyable, especially the older ones with John DeConnie, WrestleMania 4, mine with WrestleMania 6. It's fun to hop into the time machine every once in a while, so that was good. The Body Slam Brigade newsletter. We are a few people away from 4,000 subscribers that receive this weekly column. Make sure you subscribe to it at minutestobelltime.com. The Body Slam Brigade by Ryan for you for free. Every Thursday on the Eastern Observer, we're coming down to the wire here. The World Cup of Wrestling tournament. We have 2 articles left. This is the United States Finals. The 4 teams right there. One of the greatest WWF champion of all time, Bruno Sammartino. He's leading Kurt Angle, the Sandman, Shane Douglas, and our beloved Dr. Britt Baker. That will be Team Pennsylvania, the East Division champions, heading into, I believe, against Texas, Minnesota, and Florida, I believe, were the other ones. And so that's an absolutely great article. The one coming out this Thursday will be the international finals, and then the grand finale, the ones after that, the 2 teams surviving, the U.S. champions and the international champions. They will compete to decide where the greatest wrestlers from the greatest region of the planet come from. Black Cats NYC. It's always on the top of the list. Boom. Please go get their new album, Free Cake. It's out now. Play it loud. You can get on YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, SoundCloud. Everywhere you get your music, you can get Free Cake. This one's for the ladies. If you're upset with the whole process of putting on your eyelashes, let me tell you about these new magnetic and adhesive lashes that my wife is now proudly selling. Please take a look at this picture of her. As you can see, they look just like the eyelashes you put on, but with a magnetic eyeliner and 10 tiny magnets on the actual lash. The process is simplified and hassle-free. Join Steph's lovely lashes on Facebook, and it's as easy as liner, lash, boom. As I showed you guys before, we are coming down. I put the graphic back on to put it up again, and I ended up deleting it anyway. We are coming down to the wire now at ProWrestlingPickedUp.com. Please go on. There's going to be over like 500 points available on WrestleMania week. Please join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. Play against us, or you can sign up now. Start a pool with your friends. I've been doing one for about 5 years now. I got about 40 or 50 people in it. Some of them are closest friends. Some of them are like Gary and became my closest friends. So it was a lot of fun. Like I said, you end up rooting for matches. You end up rooting for guys like Baron Corbin, you normally don't end up rooting for. It's a really fun concept. We'd love for you to play. Please join us at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. And then I love that music. The WrestleMania special from the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Ryan Joy will be there. He will be on assignment. He will not be a part of it, but John DeConnie will be. John Smith will be. Gary will be. Tyler's questionable because this graphic is now wrong. We will be airing at noon on Saturday, April 10th. Due to the size of the balls of Impact Wrestling scheduling a program at 3 o'clock the same day as WrestleMania Night 1. So please tune us on all of the Eastern Observer platforms, YouTube, Facebook. We would love for you to start off WrestleMania weekend with us. Anything else, guys, before we leave? We actually did pretty good on time tonight.
WrestleMania weekend actually starts on like Sunday, the week before.
It's a long week. You got Hall of Fame, you got Raw, you got 2 nights of NXT, you got NXT UK thrown in there, 2 nights of WrestleMania, SmackDown. Unbelievable.
And everybody else is still running too.
What's that?
I said everybody else is still running too. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. And I just have one request, that you keep my square as far away from Gary's square as humanly possible during this WrestleMania show, or else things might go down.
That's it. You know, with John DeConnie being the Impact guy and Ryan being the AEW guy, I think they would have a bigger feud than you and Gary do. But all of a sudden, one Cruiserweight Championship, and the gloves come off, and Gary's drinking Guinness to get ready for the show. And it's going to be you're probably have Walter and Ciampa too, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. John DeConnie, anything before we go?
No, I think we've wrapped the week up quite well.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you so much for watching with us. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Great win on Sunday night. Good luck on your road to WrestleMania. Tegan, we miss you. Hopefully you'll be at Taker. If not, I'm sure you'll be ready shortly thereafter. She's been training with Captain Marvel. She is ready to roll. John DeConnie, take us home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Wear your toys out.
Yeah, my toys